What is up, guys? I'm going to be making another video, and in this one, it's not going to be the same one that I made the last two. It's going to be a ranking video. I'm going to be, well, not really a ranking video, but my personal opinion on who will be champion by the end of 2025. Obviously, I'm just going to be doing on the male flyweight through heavyweight division. And yeah, I think this is going to be really accurate, in my opinion. I don't know if it'll go perfect. It probably won't, but I think 90% of it will go perfect. I do claim to be an expert. I do know what I'm talking about. I do know ball. I've been studying it and for a while now. And yeah, I know exactly what I am talking about. All right, starting with the flyweight division. Alexandre Pantoja is going to keep that belt throughout 2025. He's not made any defenses yet, but yeah, it's a little difficult decision to make because this will probably be his hardest year as far as title defenses go, but I think he still will remain victorious in all of them. Obviously he's going to be fighting Kai Kara France International Fight Week late June, which will be a very good fight, and I think it'll probably be his hardest defense, but I think it'll probably end in a decision. I could see a finish, but I think Pantoja is just more well-rounded. I think he's obviously improving too. I think we're going to see it's going to late rounds, and obviously we see Pantoja start to get tired. He gasses out and does unnecessary stuff in the late rounds, and it causes him to get in some situations. Like he put himself in a little situation against Urkic. It wasn't great. Royval was gaining momentum too in the late rounds because he started getting tired. But I just feel like he's getting better, and he's probably going to improve. Kai Kara France has never been, at this biggest stage yet, or fought someone like Pantoja. I think Pantoja is going to find a way to get it done. I think he's just too well-rounded. He's got a ton of heart, and it takes a lot to take Pantoja out. And, yeah, I think that'll be his first title defense of the year. I think it'll be really close. Not really. I think it'll be really, really competitive, but I think it'll end up being like a 49-46, 48-47 decision. And Kara France just isn't going to do enough. Pantoja just gets more done with the grappling and the striking. And overall, him being more well-rounded is going to get him the dub. I also think for a second defense of the year, because I think he'll defend again, he'll probably face the winner of Royval and Kopp, and I do think Kopp will beat Royval. Nonetheless, I think Pantoja clears both Royval and Kopp. He's already beaten Royval. I think he's already beaten him twice. He might have already faced him once, but I'm not sure. But I know Royval is good, and he's also improved. And it would be competitive, but once again, Pantoja's just more skilled. Royval's more of a street fighter anyway. His grappling has improved, but it's not on the level of Pantoja's. Now, Manel Kopp is looking like a new championship contender. I think he will beat Royval in a very close fight, which I think is also on UFC National Fight Week, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, he's also really old. He's like late 30s already. So, his time is wrapping up for him. If he's going to make a shot to a title shot, this is his last chance. And I think he's overall a better striker than Pantoja, and he does have the wrestling, meaning this honestly could be his hardest defense, even harder than Kai Kara France. But Pantoja just got that dog in him, and it's going to take so long to take him out. I think he's just going to dog. I think he's a little bit of a better grappler than Manel Kopp. Not a better striker for sure, but I don't think Pantoja, he's got a lot of IQ. I don't think he's going to get affected by the striking that much. Obviously, he's going to take some damage, probably going to get cut open, maybe. And it will be difficult, but Pantoja's got that more championship experience. I think he's going to get through it, and I think he will remain champion throughout this year. All right, bantamweight, we got Murad Dvalishvili. Yeah, he's going to keep that belt. He's going to continue his title run. He's already defended it once this year against Umar, which was a very, very good fight. And people don't realize how good Umar actually is. This guy is, he's the future. He's, insanely talented and skilled. The fact that Murad beat him, it was a very close fight. Could have arguably went both ways, but they did give the W to Murad. It was just a really good fight overall. And, yeah, Murad deserves it. Now, obviously, he's going to be fighting Sean O'Malley in 2 weeks in the rematch after Merab embarrassed him at the Sphere last September. And I was the only one saying that Merab would destroy, and everyone's telling me he's going to get knocked out. And I was a casual, look what's happening now. No one wanted to listen, but that's what happened. His pace and pressure got him through it, and that's exactly what he did to beat him. And, of course, obviously, he's wrestling. O'Malley can't wrestle like Merab can. And he just wears his opponents down every fight. Now, I don't know if really O'Malley deserved a title shot. I mean, at first, obviously, I didn't because he got dominated, and O'Malley didn't really deserve the title anyway since he had a fast track to the title. I mean, I want to say Pirion got robbed, but Pirion definitely won that fight when O'Malley and Jan fought. But and then they just made Aljo defend it after 3 months. They were just forcing him to take it because I mean that's just UFC is really just very stubborn when it comes to like, the fighters that they like and people who have Dana White privilege. And O'Malley definitely is one of those, and he's probably the main suspect of Dana White privilege right now. Yeah, he is getting a title shot. Umar, however, his hand is hurt, so he couldn't fight anyway from the Merab fight. So, but I don't even, I think if Umar wasn't even hurt, they would still give the title shot to O'Malley over Umar. That's just the way the company's been. They just give it to the more popular fighters, the one they think will pay more money and will get more views. I mean, that's not a bad way to do it, but obviously Umar and people, there are a ton of ignorant fans who think like O'Malley is a bigger threat than Umar. O'Malley could beat Umar. That's like crazy. But yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's not a bad thing because if Umar is hurt, then O'Malley probably deserves it a little more than Sandhagen and more than Jan since he technically beat Jan on paper, but I mean, really didn't. But since he did beat him on paper, O'Malley and Sandhagen would be a really good fight. But we are getting off topic. Probably deserves a little more than Sandhagen, and I see the fight going exactly the way it went last time. Plus, Merab has gotten better since last fight. He keeps getting better. I don't think he'll be reckless at all with the striking. I don't think he'll get caught with a knee or kick. Or counter shot. I think he's going to dominate him, probably worse than last time. And don't be surprised if Merab's striking's improved too. Like, he could probably strike a little more if O'Malley. He's not going to get reckless. He's just getting better. His IQ is improving, fight IQ. I think it's going to be a beatdown, probably 50-44, 50-45 at best. I mean, O'Malley could steal around. I had a 50-45 at the spear, although one round is 50-50, so I wouldn't be mad at 49-46 card, but that's the worst it could be. Merab dominated the whole fight. He obviously deserves the belt. I'm sorry about that. And yeah, I don't know if he'll defend it again. He probably is not gonna have another defense after the O'Malley fight, since he's now defended twice. But he might, and he might have another short notice fight because Merab loves doing that. And he could even rematch Umar when Umar comes back, which would be good. And I personally not sure who would win a rematch against Merab and Umar. I mean, I would lean maybe toward Merab, but I mean, I don't know yet. But I don't think he'll defend it again. If he does, it'll probably be someone like Corey Sandhagen. There's no world where Corey Sandhagen beats Merab. So I am going Merab as continuing to be champion by the end of this year. All right, featherweight next. I got Movsar Evloev being the new champion by the end of this year. And this is definitely the hardest the division to make in this video. I do have Movsar, though. I think Volk and Movsar will fight later this year. Obviously, Volk is now the champion, beating Diego Lopez UFC 314 last April. It was a good competitive fight. And if you know me on this channel, I think you know that Volk is one of my favorite fighters ever. So it really is surprising that I would choose Movsar. And it's probably confusing because a lot of people still think Volk is going to beat Movsar. And it's really close to me. It's hard to choose because, I mean, Volk did look good against Lopez. He looked great, actually. But I still see a difference between prime Volk and Volk now. He's not quite as good as he was in his prime before he ever lost to Islam. He was at the best of the best. But he's still a very talented fighter. That's why he's the champion. He's still better than these top 5 fighters that can compete with him, and he beat one. But the thing with Movsar, I really compare. I love comparing Volk to Izzy. You know, they're best friends in UFC. Izzy, when Izzy went his path, he lost his title against Alex Pereira and then gained it back. So now he's a 2-time champ when he knocked out Pereira. But then what happens? He's dominated by a big underdog like Strickland, and now he's lost the belt again, and this started the downfall of him. I really think once a fighter loses their belt, usually 78% of the time, they're never going to come back the way they used to be. It's not always the case. It's rarely, I mean, I don't, Shevchenko, she lost the belt against Grasso, but I don't think she's going to lose the belt anytime soon. I think she's going to have another title run again. So, like, there are some cases where I don't think it's going to happen, but in this case, I do think it's going to happen to Volk. I didn't think it was going to happen with Izzy at first, but then again, I've never seen, like, experienced someone get their belt back again, so I just assumed Izzy was going to be back in his prime again. But it doesn't work like that. Like, they're getting older every day, guys. And Volk's getting older. He's not young. He's older now. And I think I knew he was going to beat Lopez. I was very confident. But Mosvar is not Lopez. And Mosvar beat Lopez. Let's just remember. Now, I know that Lopez was very new to the UFC, and he was nowhere near the fighter that he is now. But I'm just saying he did beat him. Mosvar's got very much improved grappling. And I think he's a better striker than he is grappler. That's a hot take. And people who don't actually watch Mosvar would just, like, they disagree with me. But Mosvar, I mean, you can see in the Arnold Allen fight, when Mosvar fought Allen a while ago, I mean, his striking was really good. Now, he definitely took a ton of damage in that fight, but Allen is a really good kickboxer. He's always been known for that. And Mosvar still won. He looked really good. He's got a lot of dog in him. He's very durable. Can eat a lot of shots, and he fights. He usually fights on the front foot. So as I was saying, Mosvar usually fights on the front foot. Not always, though, but yeah, he's a dog. I think Volk's probably going to fight him around the September area, October area, and I think it's going to be a really close fight. But Volk is not the fighter he used to be. I think it's going to get really tough in those championship rounds, and honestly, Volk's probably going to be up on the scorecards by, like, the first 3 rounds. But Mosvar is a hungry contender who wants that belt really badly. I know I'm not saying Volk doesn't have heart. I'm just saying the age has become a factor where he's going to get pushed. He's going to push Volk harder than Lopez pushed him. And Volk is going to start, he's going to start fatiguing, I think. Not fatiguing from cardio, just like, because he's got great cardio. But I think Mosvar is going to start heavy grappling him in the late rounds, and Volk's going to start getting taken down more. And I think it's going to be maybe a split decision, but very close 44-7. And I can just see the judges giving it to Evloev. I think he's going to do a little bit more. But obviously, I'm going to be cheering for Volk. He's one of my favorite fighters ever, and I obviously think Volk's very capable of winning. But this is my personal opinion of what I think will happen. I think Evloev's the next up. Now, if you've seen my forum videos, obviously I thought Evloev lost his last fight against Aljo. Yeah, I thought Aljo did more. He out-grappled him. I already knew Aljo was a better grappler than Mosvar. It's actually arguably he's a better grappler. He's definitely a better pure wrestler. I'll give Aljo a better pure wrestler. But Mosvar's grappling has improved. I've seen that. And he dropped Aljo in the second round. Like, he's a really good striker. Probably better striker than his grappling. I think he's a little too well-rounded for Volk. I think in the Volk fight, he's going to be on the front foot. I just think that's how it's going to go. Volk's just not, I don't think he's going to be the same fighter he used to be. But I'm very happy Volk won the belt again. Hopefully he doesn't lose his next title defense, but I just really don't see him winning. I actually do see him win. It's hard to say, but I think it's going to be very close. I just think Mosvar is going to get it done. He's the next up, and I think he will be champion by the end of this year. And for lightweight, of course, I got El Matador, Ilia Topuria. Obviously, he's fighting Charles Oliveira next month in June, UFC National Fight Week, headliner. And I think he's going to knock out Charles Oliveira. He's probably going to, Charles Oliveira is very chinny. I think it'll be competitive, obviously, but it will be a little competitive, but Oliveira is going to dominate most of it. Not Oliveira. Ilia is going to dominate most of it. And I see him hitting him with a really hard combo, dropping Oliveira and finishing him on the ground. Yeah, it won't be too hard of a fight for him. I just see him chinning another person, probably similar to Max. I don't think he's going to knock Oliveira out unconscious. I do think he's gonna be out though for a while, and I do see him winning relatively easily. Obviously, he'll have a little bit struggles probably in that first round, or it'll be an early night. I'm not sure. Oliveira is dangerous, especially with the submissions, the grappling, but I really don't think I think Ilia is probably his wrestling and grappling will get him through it. He'll probably out grapple Oliveira if I had to guess, but it will be close. I don't think there'll be a lot of exchanges on the ground. It'll probably mostly be on the feet. I just don't see Oliveira taking Ilia down. I would more likely see Ilia taking Oliveira down, which is probably what's going to happen. And I do think there's a good chance Oliveira will probably have at least one submission attempt, because Ilia could get his arm caught, an arm lock, or maybe a triangle choke or something. But he's not submitting. There's no way. Not going to happen. So yeah, I definitely have Ilya winning that, and he'll probably fight one more this year against. I think Justin Gaethje and Pimblett are gonna fight, and Ilya will probably fight the winner of that probably later this year in December, November area. And I think Ilya clears both. I think Pimblett probably would beat Gaethje in a really competitive fight, but Pimblett's good, and they have a history. But to be clear, they don't dislike each other, Ilya and Pimblett, anymore. They've made up. They had that one press conference where obviously they were talking a lot of trash, but I do think Ilya definitely beats Pimblett. I think it'd be a little competitive, but Pimblett still puts his chin up, and I think Ilya's going to catch him. However, Pimblett does have a reach advantage, but I think Ilya is just going to tire him out. And Ilya does. People say Ilya has cardio issues. He doesn't have great cardio, but he can manage it fine enough where he's not going to fatigue. And I think Pimblett's going to be the one fatiguing by the later rounds. And I know Pimblett has improved dramatically, but I still think Ilya is a better skill boxer. I think he's going to counter him probably and hit him with some more combos, hit him with the body, and he's just going to be really hurt by third, fourth round, and he's probably going to finish him on the ground. And I just see Ilya staying as champion for lightweight. Well, he is not champion yet, but I see him he will still be lightweight champion once he beats Oliveira by the end of 2025. Obviously, we can look at a potential Topuria versus Gaethje fight, which is possible if Gaethje could beat Pimblett. That will be, it'll be a little competitive, but it'll probably just end up in the later rounds as Ilya being a better boxer than Gaethje, and he's going to knock him out and chin him. Gaethje will have his moments probably in the early rounds because Gaethje is definitely a really good striker, but he's not on Ilya's level, and I really, really doubt that Arman Tsarukyan's getting a title shot. He'll probably fight one more this year against Dan Hooker or something. Maybe Gaethje. We'll see. There could be a possible Tsarukyan versus Gaethje fight. Tsarukyan wants it. UFC isn't talking about it. They're more talking about Gaethje versus Pimblett, which is probably what's going to happen. But I really don't see Arman getting a title shot, so I don't really include him in this. Even Dan Hooker's an outside chance, but I don't think Dan Hooker will get a shot either. So overall, I think that's how the lightweight division will be this year for Ilya, and I think he will be champion. All right, next we got welterweight, and I do have Islam Makhachev being champion by the end of this year. I do only think there'll be one more welterweight title fight this year, and probably around September, if I had to guess. It'll be JDM versus Islam. Now, people are saying, everyone's saying, that Islam's just going to walk through JDM, maybe finish him first round, just dominate him. JDM will have 0 moments, and it'll be an easy win for Islam. That is not true. I've thought about it a lot, and so thought about it. This is actually a really close fight. JDM is kind of a stylistic issue for Islam. He's going to cause problems for Islam. Islam is going to take some damage. And we did see in the Blau fight, JDM's takedown defense has significantly improved. Blau could not take him down. He was just struggling the whole time. And JDM's a lot stronger than we thought he was on the clinch. He could be controlling Islam a little bit more on the clinch. We're just saying. And JDM is not too much of a pressure boxer. He's a little bit of a pressure boxer. His boxing is not great, but it's decent. And he's obviously dangerous. He's got a lot of power. And he's an overall decent, really good striker. And yeah, he's a good champion. Sadly, I still see him losing his first defense. It's just unfortunate for him that he became champion at this time. It's Islam's time. I still think Islam's boxing and striking is too much, and I think he's so good. He's the best fighter in the UFC. He's the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC. He's the most skilled fighter in the UFC, in my opinion. It's arguable, but that's what I think, in my opinion. And I think he's going to be too much for JDM as the right. I think he'll have a good start, but then it's to start falling apart. I think JDM will show a lot of heart, and I just rammed. I didn't even know that. I think Islam's going to struggle to take him down early. In fact, I don't even think he'll take him down in the first round. I think Islam won't start taking him down until later rounds, and I think it'll be a struggle. But then once he does get him down, I think he is going to control him for the rest of the round. Potentially submit him, but I don't think he will. I think he'll probably go the distance, and they'll inevitably know that he did not do enough. Islam's definitely going to win. But yeah, I do have Islam winning, and he's going to work Islam. He's going to give Islam a run for his money. It might be like a 48-47, 49-46 probably, though, if I had to guess. But JDM, this fight will be competitive, is what I'm saying. And I think it'll be the only welterweight title fight of the year. But I am going Islam. I just don't think... The only fighter that I really think could beat Islam is Ilya, and that fight's probably 50-50. Other than that, there's no one that touches this guy. Well, actually, that's not true. I haven't really thought about matchmaking the welter division. There will be future videos about how other welterweights stack up, because think about it. if Islam beats JDM, what's next for him? We got contenders like Sean Brady, Shavkat, Ian Gary, Buckley, Usman even. Like those are going to be real challenges for Islam. So I think he'll have a harder time at lightweight than a harder time at welterweight than lightweight. But it'll be very interesting to see how he does. I do see him beating JDM though. All right, middleweight. This is probably the most controversial one. I got Dricus du Plessis still being champion by the end of this year. And I think there will probably only be one more title fight this year for middleweight, which is in August. DDP fights Khamzat Chimaev. Obviously, very controversial. A lot of people, more people are picking Chimaev to win. I would say around 35% of fans, 30% of fans say DDP wins, but around 70% say Chimaev. And yeah, that's not a bad take. I'm not going to call you a casual if you think Chimaev wins. Like, that's not a bad take. Chimaev could easily win this fight. I think this fight's borderline 50-50. This is going to be Dricus' hardest fight of his career. Chimaev is a killer. I mean, he's going to come out there and just try to take his head off immediately. He's going to take him down. There's no way. I would be shocked if Dricus defends the takedown. He's going to take him down within the first 30 seconds, and he's going to beat him up. I mean, that's what's going to happen. But Khamzat has never fought someone like Dricus before. Dricus has, like, as everyone in UFC, if I had to say who has the most heart and determination, it's DDP. You have to kill this man to beat him. He's not going to tap out. He's definitely going to go out. And he's just a killer, too. I mean, he's going to be coming at Khamzat no matter what shape he's in. And he's going to do everything he can to take his head off and just take him out. And obviously, Khamzat just thinks he's going to walk right through him, submit him in the first 3 minutes. That's not going to happen. I mean, it's a possibility, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I mean, we've seen Khamzat struggle. I mean, we can just talk about the Usman fight. Usman coming off a 2-fight losing streak to Leon Edwards. He comes in, moves up to middleweight to fight Chimaev. I know that it's not Usman's natural weight class, but it's not Chimaev's natural weight class either. They're both at middleweight. That was Chimaev's first fight at middleweight, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he dominated Usman first round. I had it at 10-8, and if I didn't have it at 10-8, I would have thought Usman won the fight with those 3 rounds. But he did get 10-8'd, in my opinion. He just mauled him, but he could not submit him. But obviously, we know Usman is one of the best wrestlers of all time in the UFC, and he has so much championship experience. But that wasn't prime Usman at his best. I mean, that was Usman coming off a 2-fight losing streak. So that was not the best of Usman. And I am almost positive Usman would have beaten Chimaev if there were 2 more rounds in that fight. But there wasn't. And this is a 5-round fight. Now, I did have Whitaker beating Chimaev in his last fight. But Chimaev proved me wrong. He's better than I thought he was. He went out there and submitted him in the first round. So that made me a little less confident of DDP winning, but I still think DDP wins. This is how I see the fight going. I think Chimaev's going to take him down very early. It is possible that he struggles to take him down early because, keep in mind, DDP knows what's coming. But Whitaker knew what was coming. Usman knew what was coming. Didn't stop from taking it down. But I think DDP is like, he's very, very strong on the cleat. Like, it's going to take a lot to take it down. But Chimaev I still think he's probably stronger fighting against a little bit. Chimaev is so strong. I think he might struggle to take him down at first. I think there might be some clinch work, but Chimaev will take him down within the first 60 seconds at least. Once he does, it's going to be extremely hard for DDP to get back up, especially at first. Chimaev's probably going to control him for another 2.5, 3 minutes. But DDP's not going to be getting beaten up. He's just going to... He might have his back taken. Probably not. He needs to probably try to avoid. He's probably going to be put in half guard or maybe even full mount or side control, but Chimaev will be controlling him. There's a chance DDP gets cut with some elbows, gets hit hard. I don't think he's going to get submitted. I don't think DDP's going to give him the opening for submission early because he knows how dangerous he is. He could put him in a neck crank and make Whitaker, remember when Whitaker tapped that fast to a neck crank? He's got to watch that out. Remember, he's aware of that. He's got good coaches that will help him. And I think that he's going to survive that first round. And it gets real ugly for Chimaev when he survives that. If someone survives that first round, we can look at so many fights. Usman won that second round. Chimaev was already gassed out, tired, and Usman was hitting him with some really good combos. We can look at the Gilbert Burns fight. Burns was killing him. Now, obviously, that was like 3 years ago, and Chimaev is a way better fighter than he was then. But it's still another example to keep in mind of. Now, Chimaev is not much of a better fighter than he was when he fought against Usman. He is better, but he's not. that better. Like, he's pretty similar to what he is now. Um, and yeah, he struggled a lot in the second round. I think Drakus will be tired too, but not as tired as Kamzat. And Drakus is going to be on the front, on the pedal, beating him up with that little run-in combo that he does. And I think Kamzat's going to start struggling. He's going to lose us. He might take him down again in the second round. That'll be a lot. And I think there's a chance DDP gets back up in the first round. We'll see. I think he will get back up. I think he'll probably get taken down again in the second, but then get back up. And then he's going to start beating Kamzat up a little bit. Kamzat will be running on the back foot. Second round will end, and it's probably going to be 1-1. We go to the third round. Kamzat's gassed out. He's hasn't been to a third round in forever. But we've seen even Kamzat took Usman down in the third round, so he's still capable of taking him down. But I think DDP's better than Usman, especially right now. And I think he's not going to be able to take. He might be able to take him down. I think he's not going to be able to blatantly just grab a double leg or single leg and take him down. He could, but I doubt it. I think if he's going to take him down, they're going to be on a clinch, and maybe he could out-muscle him to maybe throw him down or pick him up and throw him, or maybe strip him or something. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a small chance Drakus could take him down if Kamzat's that tired, but I still wouldn't take the risk of probably wrestling Kamzat. If he does, he's probably going to beat him up, especially if he takes him down late because Kamzat's going to be tired to defend himself. And I see DDP is bullying him by then. I think there's a good chance he TKOs him. Kamzat will be running. Kamzat is he'll strike with you. He'll try. He's not gonna let anyone bully him like that. But I think he's gonna fail. He'll probably land some shots. But ultimately, I think DDP maybe TKOs him at third. If not, the fourth is where Kamzat dies. I think he's gonna finish him on the ground. He's gonna be too tired to defend himself. He'll probably get dropped because DDP's got a lot of power with that little running combo. And ultimately, I think DDP wins. That's just what I think will happen. I think that'll be the last middleweight defense of the year. And DDP is going to be people. If people don't already think DDP's for real, they're definitely going to know he's for real after this fight. Obviously, Kamzat could easily win. I think it'll be very close. And maybe Kamzat's cardio is improved, but I just don't think so. With the way he fights, no one's you're not human if you can keep fighting 5 rounds like that. So I am going to be choosing DDP. Very bold prediction, but I do have him winning. And for light heavyweight, I have Magomed Ankalaev continuing to be champ. And I do think there will only be one more light heavyweight title fight of the year. There was originally supposed to be 2 because they offered Ankalaev to fight. They offered him 2 fights, Pereira and Yuri, and they both said no. Now, Yuri had an excuse. He was studying for something. He's in some exam or whatever. But he had an excuse. However, Pereira did not. And I think there is a good chance that when he said his account got hacked, how he was not on a good terms with UFC, that might have not been true. I think there's a small chance that Pereira is a little bit afraid to fight him. Or maybe there's a money issue or something. I'm not sure. But, I mean, he did look a little afraid. If I had to guess, I mean, people obviously might think I'm stupid. And maybe there's tons of poetards out there who think Pereira would knock him out or that it was a robbery. Clear Ankalaev win. I do think it might have been a 48-47 though, but it was still a clear Ankalaev win. He's a better. I never told anyone this because I was inactive, but Ankalaev was a better boxer. I knew that before the Pereira fight, and apparently he could potentially be a better striker, and I don't think he is. I think Pereira is definitely a more skilled striker. He arguably is a better striker, so I bet Ankalaev's only going to get better from here. And he uses clinch work and his boxing to win that fight against Pereira. I think they should have a rematch, and maybe Abu Dhabi. Ankalaev versus Pereira too. He deserves it. There's no one else who deserves it more than Pereira. After everything he's done, especially in 2024, give Pereira that rematch. I still see the fight going the same way. Ankalaev putting the pressure on him on the front foot, and Pereira being on the back foot. I mean, Pereira's never fought a fighter like that, and especially a fighter so confident to stand with him. Ankalaev's got a really good chin, especially with that big beard, and he's just a better fighter. I've been saying this before it happened. I knew Ankalaev was going to win. He was the one to do it, and I debated him winning the rematch, but I think Ankalaev's just going to get better. It's going to start the downfall. Pereira's 37, 38. I think his era is over. We're in a new era. Ankalaev will be champion probably for a very long time, maybe until he retires. But Ankalaev is winning the rematch, in my opinion, probably in more dominant fashion next. I think he's going to have more success taking him down because he wasn't really able to take him down. But he showed that he was stronger than Pereira. I mean, he controlled him on the clinch. That's strength work right there, out-muscling him. And crowd's booing, but Ankalaev was working. just because he didn't take him down the whole time he was attempting to take him down. He just couldn't because Pereira's really strong too. But Ankalaev was still out-muscling him because if he wasn't out-muscling, then Pereira could have turned the clinch around or gotten out of it. He wasn't. Ankalaev was holding him down. He's stronger. And he outboxed him like I knew he would. I think he outstruck him too, which I didn't think he was going to do. That means he's even better than I thought he was. And I think his striking's only going to get better. And by the time, if they fight again, he's going to be better everywhere. I think if Pereira doesn't fight him, it might be Yuri Prochazka or maybe Carlos Ulberg. And I don't think either of those guys, I think they'd be even easier fight than Pereira for Ankalaev. I just think there's no one really at Ankalaev's skill level. The only person that could potentially beat Ankalaev is Pereira, in my opinion, and I think that's a very long shot. I think Pereira would have to knock him out, and I just really don't see that ever happening, like a 10-15% chance that's happening. He's not going to give him that space to do it. He's always going to be on the front foot pushing the pace, and there's a chance Ankalaev knocks Pereira out. I mean, he almost did in the end of like round 2 or 3 when he hit him with the boxing combo, right left hook to the chin. He's got a ton of power. I think there's a good chance he could finish him next round. But definitely don't know the outcome of who he'll be fighting, but I do know that Ankalaev is still going to have the belt around his waist. And finally, at heavyweight, I have Tom Aspinall, and this is a very difficult decision to make for 2 reasons. I don't know if Jones is even going to fight this year. It's hard to tell. I mean, he's talking about not fighting, and then we just heard that he is still fighting, but like it's not confirmed, like yesterday. And when is he going to fight? I mean, if he fights, it's probably going to be in November, if I had to guess, because he's a terribly active champion. And I think that if they do fight, it's not going to go to what people think. A lot of casuals think Tom Aspinall's going to knock him out. He's not. It's very, very low chance. I don't think he's going to knock him out. If they actually somehow ever do fight, I think it will go the distance. I think it'll be very competitive, like really competitive. I think Tom Aspinall will do more, and I think he will definitely deserve to win. I think he will win, but will they let him actually win, or are they going to rob him? Because I think it'll be really competitive, and Jones will probably steal at least 2 rounds, maybe 1, maybe even 3, and that might just be enough for him to win the fight, because, I mean, that's just how judges are. I think there's a very good chance that they're more likely to rob Aspinall, give it to Jones, and I don't even know if it'd be called robbery. I'm just saying it's going to be really competitive. And I personally think Tom Aspinall will do more and enough to win. I think his striking is good enough to stand with them. I think Jones looked slow in the Stipe fight. He was getting hit by a very, very slow and old Stipe, and Aspinall is way faster than Stipe, and I think he's going to hit him a lot with those shots when John's trying to dodge and get away. He's going to take damage. He's probably going to break his nose, cut him open. And I think Jones is... I think the grappling changes are going to be close. I think I give a slight edge to Jones. I think he'll control him more. But I think Aspinall will have a lot of moments in the grappling, maybe in the attempted submission, but he's definitely not going to submit Jones. I don't think Jones will ever submit Aspinall. I think it'll be very close, go all 5 rounds, but I really don't see Jones getting finished. I mean, he's still John Jones, greatest of all time. But I ultimately, in my opinion, think Tom Aspinall will beat him and do enough to win, and Jones will probably retire. But I can see in my head Jones just winning and Tom Aspinall they just gave the fight to Jones. But nonetheless, I don't really care who wins. I just really want to see the fight really badly. I don't know if it's gonna happen. It's probably 50-50. I mean, Dana White's confirmed it, but I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. I really hope it does happen. But I'm really just picking Tom Aspinall based off what I personally think would happen. I think if they fought, Tom Aspinall would win. But I don't know if the judges are going to see it that way. So it'll be very close. But I ultimately have Tom Aspinall winning the heavyweight belt, and there's a good chance that they don't even fight. So then Jones would still be champion, or maybe Jones vacates. But even if he vacates and there's no heavyweight fight, technically Jones, the belt, I think would still save Jones until the next heavyweight fight starts. So I'm just going to go with Aspinall based off what I think would happen if they fought. But yeah, that's it. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. I will respond to your comments, and if y'all disagree with anything, I mean, I could debate you in the comments. We can talk about it. If y'all agree with anything, y'all can comment about it. We can talk about it. But that is my picks for the Champions in 2025. I hope y'all like this video. I'll be back soon. And yeah, I'll be